Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in the world. This is Howie, and I'm here to help you win with money. Today, I want to do a really quick thing about 401k plans. But before we get into this episode, don't forget to leave a comment if you have at the end of the video, and also if you want to find me, go to Facebook, go to one of these groups, Investing 102. I love to level up my thinking, so I hang out in this type of group. So let's go on to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about 401k plans. Most of us don't even like talking about 401k plans. It's kind of boring, really not very sexy type product. You're not going to get rich quickly. But I wanted to show you this real quick. I created a slide and you'll see how in March of 2019 this value was only 21,000, and you see how I put in about $1,000 at this point in time, and then the match 10% return. Then I have another screen capture, and I missed the March of 2020, but at the end of the year, the plan balance was 20 grand. You see how much I put in, roughly 5 grand, 5,500. I got about a $3,000 match that year and a rate of return. And then I took a screenshot of Friday, and you'll see that it's 58,000. And again, in March, I only put in about 1,200, which is the same here from 2 years ago. So it shows you that my income or my saving rate really hasn't increased. And so I'm only putting in a little bit of money, not much has changed. And the rate of return of this year is 7%. So what's the point of this? And I wanted to make a point of, if you look at the distance travel, even saving a little bit of money, and I use this number of 6 or 7 grand, I'm really not putting in a lot of money in, because one is most people don't have a lot of money to put in. There's not a lot of people who can save 15 or 20 grand a year in this. The max you can put in is 19,500. Unless you're over 50, you can put in an extra several $1,000s there. But there's not a lot of people who can max it out. But I wanted to show you what happens even by saving a little bit. Again, I'm not even up to 10 or 15,000 a year, and you can see how the money grows. So why is this important? So I want to show you some of the data. And my favorite tool, Excel. I mocked it up where if you plug in the data that I use and I put in some dates, I'm using a 7% rate of return for right now. And you see it's all formula driven, so that it takes the percentages and it will change that. So if you made 2% rate of return, that's how much your account will grow. And you see even at 2% return, your account will be $500,000 if you started at 21. So why am I doing this? So let's show you what some of the numbers look like. I'm using a 7% rate of projection. These are in the past already, based on the data that I just shared with you. So if I use these numbers, and if I'm saving $6,000 for the rest of my life, if you started at 21, you will be a millionaire at 53. Most people don't start at 21, so let's use 25. If you use that, you'll be at 57. So why does this matter? I want to show you why these things matter. Because sometimes we think 401k millionaires are very hard to be, or it's impossible. Some people think it's like Bigfoot, right? You talk about it, but no one ever sees it. But I want to show you how modeling helps me project what the value could be in the future. Even if you started at age 30, you see that I added 2 years. That will put me here because this is where we're at in time. And even at age 30, saving $6,000 a year, that puts me at $1,000,000 in a 401k plan at 62. And that's never adding more money. That's just basically sticking with the same $6,000 contribution plus whatever. And again, this modeling that I'm doing doesn't even factor in the matches that I'm getting. And what I mean by that is, this one is a better screen to look at, the November one, which is this screen capture. Even if I put in, let's say 5,000, you see my employer is matching a little bit. So I'll get an extra $2,000 or $3,000 per year. When you add it up, That's $8,000. So here I put in 1,000. There was already $1,000 extra. Same thing here. You put in 1,600. So my point is the match, and I don't get a good match. My numbers are weird. They look like they changed, but they're really not. I'm only getting 50 cents on the dollar. So if I put in 6,000, you expect to get about 3,000 that year. If I put in 5,000, I expect to get $2,500 in matching. And in my projections here, I'm not even using the matching. This is just, if you look at the formula, I'm just using, you take this value plus the new investment, and then you add in the rate of return of 7%. I'm using a lower number because markets don't move 7% or 8% every year. It goes up, it goes down. So you want to adjust it. But you see, I'm using a really small number. I'm using a percentage rate that's less than the average. And I'm assuming that I never get a raise. And I'm assuming I'm not counting the matches. And even with those numbers, you can still hit $1 million at 62. Now, what I'm interested in doing is, some of you may say, well, I'm a little bit older and I am not 30 years old. So that's fine. Let's just see what the numbers look like if you start moving the ages up. So at 35, if you start it, you become a millionaire at 67. And assuming that you're at 37 right now, and you just follow this through. Now you're saying, well, what if you're 40? Now, if you're 40, you see the numbers a little bit different. 67, you're looking at numbers somewhere between here. This is where most people want to retire. But even if you're looking in this range, at the age of 70, you will still have $900,000 using a very safe estimate. We all know you can get 8% return. And you see here, even starting age 40, $1 million in a 401k plan at age 69. And this is using 8%, again, assuming you can't contribute more. So this is a very conservative estimate. And what I want to show you is you don't need to get rich quickly. Everybody's trying to sell you these master classes for $15,000, $20,000, or even $5,000. If you send me $100, I can show you you can be a millionaire. And one, you keep more money in your pocket. You don't even have to send me $15,000, and I can show you how to be a millionaire. It's not that hard. You can do it with small amounts. Again, this is just modeling using something very conservative. If you want to be a little bit more riskier and say, well, let's use 9%, because some people believe the S&P will always return 9.5%, 10% a year. If you use those numbers, you see that you will hit $1 million at 67. But this is a very simplistic model. Most people will get raises. Let's add in the match, and it will shorten the time frame. This is very doable. Slow and steady does win the race. You can be a millionaire without being tempted with all these stuff that you see on YouTube. And you see, my accounts were small. There's nothing fancy about this. I'm not contributing $19,000 a year. I'm not contributing $15,000 a year. I'm barely averaging $5,000 or $6,000 a year. That's all I'm doing. This account will hit a big amount. It will hit 6 digits. And as long as you stick to the plan, I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm investing mostly in S&P 500. So for all the haters out there who don't believe 401k millionaires are possible, it's so easy. Even a caveman can do it. Oh, that's the wrong company. But you get my point. Don't get mad. Get E-Trade. Haha, another bad joke. But on a serious note, what this means is it is very doable. Don't believe that you have to do it a certain way. If this is all you can do, just stick to your plan. It will work. Don't deviate from it. Now, if you need to, you can always add more complexity. You can always add other things to it. But a 401k plan is possible to be a millionaire. If you want to do early retirement, obviously this is probably not the best strategy to go, because you need access to your money and there's other things you can do. But in this video, I just wanted to show how 401k millionaires, very possible. I'm just surprised there isn't more. But with that being said, comment below. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know if you're doing 401k plan. I hope that you are contributing. Take advantage of the matches that your employer gives you. Invest in the S&P 500 or something like a total market. If you have something like a VTI or a VTSAX from Vanguard, or Fidelity have one too, and some of the other competing companies have a very similar product. With that being said, this shows you that it's very possible. Don't forget, let's do this together. Let's do this $1 at a time. Blah blah blah. Let's do that again. Record. So let's do this together. Let's do this $1 at a time and have a profitable day. Bye bye.